How do historians interpret damaged Romanesque sculpture? Imagine walking through a medieval church and seeing sculptures that are chipped, worn, or missing pieces. How do experts figure out what they originally looked like? That's what we're exploring today. Romanesque sculpture was a key part of medieval church design, often carved into portals, capitals, and tombs. These sculptures told stories from the Bible, like the Last Judgment or Christ in Majesty. Even when parts are damaged, they still hold clues to their original message. Historians start by looking at where the sculpture was placed. For example, sculptures on church portals often showed scenes meant to teach viewers about salvation or divine judgment. Knowing this helps interpret what the missing parts might have shown. If a figure's hand is broken, they look at similar sculptures from the same time and place to guess what it might have been doing. Even damaged sculptures show stylistic features like elongated bodies, expressive gestures, and decorative patterns. These traits are typical of Romanesque art and help experts understand the artist's style and the sculpture's purpose. For example, a damaged figure with a long, narrow face and simple drapery still reflects the symbolic approach of the period. Comparing damaged sculptures with better preserved examples is another key method. If a tomb sculpture is missing its head, but similar sculptures from the same region show how saints or kings were depicted, historians can make educated guesses about the original appearance. This comparison helps fill in gaps and clarify iconography. Materials also matter. Romanesque artists used stone, metal, enamel, and ivory. Damage to these materials can tell us about how the sculptures were made and what parts were most important. For example, if a metal element is missing, it might have been a symbol of authority or divine power. Since Romanesque art was deeply religious, scholars interpret damaged figures through Christian symbolism. Even fragments of Christ or saints carry meaning. For instance, a broken figure of Christ might still show the position of the hands or the remaining facial features that reveal its original message. Inscriptions are another helpful tool. When surviving text remains on tombs or portals, it can identify figures or scenes. These clues help clarify what the sculpture was meant to convey, even if parts are missing or damaged. Overall, studying damaged Romanesque sculpture is like solving a puzzle. It helps us understand how medieval people used art to teach and inspire. Even broken pieces tell stories about faith, power, and belief. By carefully analyzing these fragments, historians keep the legacy of Romanesque art alive and show how it shaped medieval culture and religion.